Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to have a little bit of a look at VSTAR Universe, that set that we've been waiting for a very long time. We have seen we've seen listings for ages, and now it's here, and it's basically exactly what we thought it was going to be, and it looks amazing, and I am delighted. And if we look at the pack art first of all, I mean, this is very, very, very clearly the same kind of pack art that we saw on VMAX Climax, and the same kind of pack art that we saw on Shiny Star V. This shouldn't really surprise anyone here, because we always knew this was essentially going to be the third part of the trilogy. Remember that Shiny Star V was a set that finished off year one of Sword and Shield in the TCG. VMAX Climax was a set that finished off year 2 of the Sword and Shield TCG, and this is a set that finishes off year 3 and the block as a whole. So this shouldn't really surprise anybody, but it's still pretty gosh darn cool. Now, there are a couple of things on that pack art which are very, very, very interesting. First of all, we can see that you've got the logo for V, VMAX, and VSTAR, but there is no V Union on there. And might I remind you that on VMAX Climax, there was. So, I'm not saying that there aren't V-Union in there, but I'm saying that there's like a 99% chance that there aren't. Do not expect any V-Union in this pack. I don't think we're going to see any. It's also interesting to note that of the Pokemon on the cover, on the booster pack here, the only one that has yet to receive a Pokemon V is Altaria. Now, they did actually show off an Altaria in this video. We'll get there in a moment. So maybe it's just a coincidence. But as far as I can tell, every other Pokemon we see on the front of the pack there has had a Pokemon V. And it is worth noting that there was Altaria EX and Altaria GX. It's a kind of Pokemon that does get these special cards. So, I'm not saying we are getting an Altaria V, but we usually get a couple of random Vs in these kind of sets. Altaria is a pretty good candidate. Far from guaranteed, let's be 100% clear, but a pretty gosh darned good candidate. So one of the things we were expecting in this particular set was a whole bunch of reprints, and a whole bunch of reprints is exactly what we got. So if we take a look at this lovely image here, we can see there's a new Mew. I know. Now, it's not actually a new Mew though, let's be perfectly honest. It is an alternate art of an existing Mew. It's a Mew from Fusion Strike. We know that because it's clearly the Fusion Strike Mew you can see in the top right hand corner. And this is big because remember there are other Mew, but only the Fusion Strike Mew is playable because of the way that deck works. So if they'd gone and done this for the other Mew, it would have been pointless and nobody would have cared. We've now got a wonderful, lovely alternate art of Mew. That's good. That's lovely. And then they showed us a bunch of others. And what's really interesting about all of these others is that we've seen them before. We've seen all of these before. So we've got the Giratina, which came in a tin for us, and we've got the Samurott, which came in a tin for us. Those are cards which have literally already been released in English, and I've been telling you all the way along, these have to be in VSTAR Universe. It's the only thing that makes sense. And oh look, they are in VSTAR Universe, and I'm not really patting myself on the back for a massive prediction here, because this was an easy prediction, because it's the only thing that makes sense. You've then got your Zoroark, Hisuian Zoroark, from your VMAX Premium Collection, or VSTAR Premium Collection, I should say. It's VSTAR, not a VMAX. And then you've got Origin Form Palkia and Origin Form Dialga, also from those VSTAR Premium Collections. And again, I've been telling you all the way along these were coming in VSTAR Universe, and again, this wasn't some fantastic, massive prediction, because where else were they going to be coming, ladies and gentlemen? This was always going to happen. This was inevitable. Now, something else which I find very interesting, they also showed us this image, and nothing in this image is new. We've got a reprint of Mewtwo V and V-Star, a reprint of Charizard V and V-Star, and a reprint of Arceus V and V-Star. Why am I showing you this? What does it tell us? And what it tells us very simply is that this is going to be a set full of reprints. We are going to get a whole bunch of reprints coming in here. That is inevitable. And I mean straight reprints. I mean the exact cards as they were before, reprinted verbatim. But you'll notice they're going for super popular Pokemon and kind of playable Pokemon. But then again, this should have been something we saw coming, because this is exactly what they did for VMAX Climax and exactly what they did for Shiny Star V. There's a bunch of cool extra stuff, we'll get there in a moment, don't worry, but a large part of this set is going to be reprints. It is going to be a largely reprint set. But what they're going to do is make it into a reprint set, which is stunning if you've not got a huge collection of Pokemon cards. Because assuming they did what they did in the other two sets, and we've kind of got to assume that they're going to, we've seen two sets in a row that are like this, it's very, very likely, what they're going to do is they are going to give us the good cards. They're going to make it a bunch of playable cards. And that's what's important here. It's not going to be a bunch of random reprints, it's going to be a bunch of playable cards. They also showed us these cards, some of which are playable, some of which aren't. The Manaphy really stands out as one which is hyper over the top playable. But you'll notice they've all come through with S12A in the bottom left-hand corner. S12A, of course, being the set number for VSTAR Universe. So it is largely a reprint set, which is fair. And they've got a bunch of alternate art reprints, but from what they've shown us, all but the Mew we've got so far. Isn't there going to be a bunch of special stuff? Yes, like this Manaphy. Now, this Manaphy isn't a new card, not at all. It's actually, it's kind of like a character rare, but it's not a character rare. Because you'll notice there's no Pokemon trainer there. And the thing that really kind of calls us character rares, the thing that puts them out as character rares, is the fact that there is, and I know this might sound obvious, but let me say it anyway, there's a character. There's no character, so these are like the special arts we've been getting for Pokemon Vs for a while, but for regular Pokemon, they're kind of like character rares, but they're not character rares. Now, this one makes me a little bit sad because the original Hyganasuke artwork makes me very, very happy. But you'll notice there's a bunch of other Pokemon. I'm going to let you spot all of them yourselves. Point it if you get the Wimpod nice and quickly. But there's a bunch of Pokemon on there sharing the artwork. It looks stunning. And then it kind of keeps going. So we've got the Mew, the one that came out in Celebrations, just kind of having a little bit of a lie down. But again, we are surrounded by other Pokemon here. And this looks absolutely amazing. The artwork here is truly stunning. And there are going to be, we can already see, yeah? There are going to be a bunch of these cards in the set. Like the Mew, like the Manaphy. Want to see some more? They showed us this Diancie, which is honestly not as good as the other two in my eyes. But what we've got here is a Manaphy that came around in Astral Radiance. It's got that lovely ability that stops your opponent using supporter cards to affect your bench Pokemon, as long as they're basics, of course. It's fine. It's alright. It's not an amazing card. It's not one that fills me with joy, but it's still pretty gosh darn cool. We've got an Absol coming in here as well. Now, this is the Absol, again, that came round in Astral Radiance. It's the one that's got Swirling Disaster, 10 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. It's not a particularly good card, I'll be honest with you. Diancie has actually seen quite a bit of play. This Absol kind of hasn't. So, I'm not, let's be super clear, I'm not telling you that every single card in this set is going to be hyper playable. What I am telling you is that a bunch of very playable cards are going to be reprinted, but as is inevitable, I don't think it's fair to assume that they're all going to be amazing. Our Hisuian Goodra, the regular one, that is coming in here as well. That's getting, I would say, a lovely alternate art, but really looks kind of sad. But it's all right. Starly's here. Starly's come to help. and that's kind of lovely. Plus, let's face it, Hisuian Gudra does kind of always look a bit sad, so I don't know if we can take too much out of that. What else have we been shown? We've also been shown the last regular Pokemon is the Altaria. Now, this is a really cool one that lets you go and search a supporter. Incidentally, this is kind of your counter-argument for why we might not be getting Altaria V, because, well, yeah, fine, Altaria is on the booster pack, but we're getting a reprint of the Altaria from Evolving Skies, a really nice one that lets you search out a supporter. And on the one hand, yes, that is absolutely fair, but it still remains true that every other Pokemon shown off on the front of the booster pack there has a Pokemon V as it stands, except Altaria. And then they got to the big reveals, like this Mewtwo! No, it's just Mewtwo VSTAR. They did not show off a single new card. They're all alternate arts. Now, firstly, oh my goodness, this artwork is absolutely stunning. Secondly, this artwork is going to look very, very familiar. And the reason it's going to look very, very familiar is it is the counterpart of the artwork from the Charizard that is literally released today in the Ultra Premium Collection. And there's something cool about the fact that that Charizard comes out in English today, and this stuff's all been shown off in Japan today. It is a good day to be a Pokemon fan. But you'll notice what we've got here is very much the same fight from two different angles. So the Charizard fight, Charizard's big, Mewtwo's in the distance. Here it's the other way round. But you'll notice we've got that Tangrowth that is in both of the artworks. You've got that terrified Diglett on the mountain that is in both bits of artwork. The fact that these artists have clearly collaborated to put those little details in together makes me so happy. This card is absolutely stunning. And yes, obviously they did show off that the Charizard was also going to be in this set. But again, I've been telling you that for weeks now, and again, I'm not patting myself on the back. That wasn't some amazing prediction. That was incredibly obvious because there was nowhere else to put that Charizard. But then they went and showed us a couple more. They went and showed us Hisuian Zoroark V-Star. Now, look, I don't care what you think about Hisuian Zoroark on the stream at Little Regional Championships last weekend that I was lucky enough to be a part of. Early on, I said to Benji, he's a very lovely dude, I told him I wasn't buying this as a really hyper-competitive top-tier deck. And over the course of the tournament, although it had a decent showing, it never really seemed in danger of winning the tournament, although there were a few that had decent runs. I don't care what you think about the card, look at the artwork. And here's the thing, right? The regular Pokemon, these special arts I'm showing you, they're beautiful. But these special art Pokemon V-Star, I've shown you 3 now, all of them are absolute top tier stunning. And then they showed us Hisuian Samurott. And I'm going to be honest with you, right? The only thing I disliked about this reveal was they didn't show us a special art Pokemon V-Star drawn by Okacheke or Hayaganosuke, my favourite artist in the Pokemon TCG. Because imagine how good they would be. Oh, it's going to be beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. It is gonna be beautiful. This one, again, this isn't my favourite art style, but that doesn't really matter. Shibuya, great artist. It's the kind of thing, some people are going to love this style, some people aren't going to love this style. Don't get fixated on the art of the individual cards. That is not what's important at the moment. What is important at the moment is that these are coming. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what's important at the moment. I wish there was a V-Star I was excited about playing. There is not a single V-Star that I really want to build a deck around. So there's just nothing I'm really desperate for in that regard. I just want to see all of these cards. Because there's no way there's only 4 of them and they're just showing off all 4 of them in this video. There's going to be more regular Pokemon. There's going to be more Pokemon V-Star. And remember, in the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection, there is a special art Charizard V that we've not seen anywhere else that kind of has to be in VSTAR Universe. So even though they didn't show us any special art Pokemon V, we kind of know there's going to be new special art Pokemon V. And oh my goodness, I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely flat out, over the top, ridiculously excited. I'm probably going to put on the thumbnail something like best set ever. And you know what? Fine. Accuse me of clickbaiting if you want. I don't really care. Look at these 3 special art Pokemon V-Star that we just got shown off today and tell me this doesn't look like one of the, if not the best sets we've ever seen. Although, I do need to mention that just like we saw with VMAX Climax and just like we saw with Shiny Star V, this is going to be a set where if you import it, like I'm going to be, and I'm sure a bunch of you are as well, you are going to miss out on something. And what you're going to miss out on is these are stunning if you're in Japan and want to get into playing the Pokemon TCG, because they are absolutely chocked full of really good cards to get you playing competitively. You'll lose that, but you'll still get all the special art cards and all of that, and you'll still get a bunch of Pokemon V. Oh, I didn't tell you, I'm pretty sure, and I'm using my own rudimentary Japanese here, so, you know, don't take it as an absolute fact. But I'm pretty gosh darn sure they said there is a Pokemon V, VMAX, or V-Star in every pack. And to be fair, that was exactly the case in the other sets as well. This is going to be amazing. VMAX Climax, I bought a few boxes. I should have bought more. I'm gonna rinse this set as much as I can. Not to flip it. I want to collect this set. I want to just buy box after box after box of this. I am delighted. I'm probably going to come back very shortly with another video going over some extra stuff we've learned since, but I had to get this video out as fast as I possibly could because this does, and I don't really care if you believe me or not, because I think I've made my case pretty well, I do think this looks like it could be the actual best set ever, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me how excited you are. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk Pokemon card games and Pokemon card games and all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus pods where I answer all of your questions. You can get some... You can go on a Discord where you can chat Pokemon with us. And, of course, you do get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely It's a Coaster, who's been a supporter of ours for a few months now and is very active on the Discord and does seem to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support, and thank you for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.